Okay, let's talk about something that's probably on your mind a lot if you're a parent: keeping your kids safe online. I mean, it can feel like you're trying to navigate a total minefield, right? It's a huge source of anxiety, and for good reason. But what if there was a better way than just banning all the devices? Well, today we're going to dive into a whole new approach, and we're going to use a pretty surprising tool to help us out. So, here's what's on the agenda. We're going to start with what I'm calling the digital dilemma, basically what we're all up against. Then we'll pivot to a new, much more empowering way to think about it. I'll walk you through 4 simple rules of engagement, and then comes the cool part: your very own AI conversation coach. And we'll wrap up by talking about how all this helps you build real, lasting digital trust with your kids. It's going to be great. All right, let's just dive right in. The online world your kid lives in, it's a lot. I mean, you've got the constant pressure from social media, you've got the very real threat of online predators, scams, and now we're throwing AI into the mix. It is a ton to keep track of. And hey, if you feel like you're in over your head sometimes, trust me, you are definitely not alone. So, does that feeling of being totally overwhelmed ring a bell? Yeah, I thought so. And you know what that feeling usually leads to? It's a totally understandable reaction. Just ban everything. Take the phone, lock the computer, shut it all down. For a minute there, it can really feel like the only way to keep them safe, right? And look, that impulse, it absolutely comes from a place of love. We all want to protect our kids. But reacting purely out of fear, it's just not the best long-term play. The good news is, there's a much better, much more empowering way to handle this whole thing. So, what is this new approach? Well, it's all about a really big shift in your mindset. It's about moving from a place of fear and restriction to a place of preparation and empowerment. It sounds simple, I know, but trust me, it's a total game changer. This right here, this quote, just nails it. The goal isn't to build some kind of digital fortress around our kids. It's about giving them the actual tools they need, things like critical thinking, solid communication skills, so they can navigate this world safely themselves. We're building their confidence, and in the process, we're building our trust in them. Okay, so to make all that happen, you need a solid foundation. We're talking about a few core principles that are going to guide every single conversation you have about their online world. You can kind of think of them as your family's ground rules for the digital age. And this 4-part foundation is absolutely key. So first up, lead with curiosity, not judgment. Seriously. Instead of jumping in with an accusation, try asking something like, "Hey, what's so cool about that app?" It just creates a much safer space for them to open up. Okay, number 2, collaborate on the rules. Get them involved. If they help you set the boundaries for screen time or which apps are okay, they'll have a sense of ownership and they're way more likely to actually stick to them. Third, and this one is huge, teach critical thinking. Help them learn to question what they see. Ask things like, who do you think made this and why? What do they want you to feel or do? And finally, number 4, use real-life scenarios. Talk about stuff that's actually relatable, maybe something that happened to a friend or even a character in a movie. It makes the dangers and the solutions feel so much more real. No, look, knowing these rules is great, but actually coming up with the right words when you're in the middle of a tough conversation, yeah, that can be a whole different story. And this is where things get really, really interesting. We can actually use AI, yep, a tool like ChatGPT, as our own personal conversation coach to get us ready. All right, let's put this into practice. Imagine you need to sit down and talk with your kid about online privacy. I mean, that's a massive topic, right? Where do you possibly begin? Well, it all starts with setting a clear goal for yourself. In this case, you want to teach them about the risks of sharing too much online. Simple enough. Then, you feed the AI a really simple, direct prompt, just like this one. And notice how you can pop in your child's age? That's key, because it's going to give you a response that's perfectly tailored to them. And check out what you get back. The AI gives you this brilliant metaphor. Sharing personal info online is like leaving your front door unlocked. It's so simple, it's memorable, and a kid can understand it instantly. It takes this big, complicated, abstract idea and makes it totally real. That is just so powerful. Okay, let's run another one. How about a really tough topic? Cyberbullying. This is one of those things where kids need a super clear plan. They don't need vague advice. They need to know exactly what to do. So again, your goal is clear. Get a practical, step-by-step action plan. And your prompt is just as direct.
You're not asking for an essay on why bullying is bad. You're asking for a concrete plan you can literally sit down and go over with your child.
And boom, here's what it kicks back. A super clear 4-step plan. Block the person, save the evidence, like screenshots, report them, and talk to an adult you trust. See, this is so much more than just helpful info. It gives your child a feeling of control, of agency, in a situation where they could feel totally powerless. Now they have a playbook. They know exactly what to do. So using this AI coach is an amazing way to get started, but it's really just one piece of a bigger puzzle, you know? The real goal here is to use these conversations to build a deep foundation of trust that's going to last for years and years. This isn't a one and done kind of thing. It's a journey. So what's next? Where do you go from here? It's simple. Just start small. Pick one topic, try one prompt. That's it. And when you have a good conversation, celebrate that. Count it as a win. And more than anything else, just keep reminding them that the lines of communication are always, always open, that they can come to you with anything, anytime, and you'll be there without judgment. That's the most important part. When it all comes down to it, this whole approach is about making a shift from constant worry to real wisdom, and from fear to open conversation. So I guess the only question left to ask is, what conversation are you going to start today?